A lot of people have been leaving Toronto and many of them are heading for Hamilton.
Let's go!
But what's the story with the rising popularity of this city? Well, today I'm breaking down the top reasons why you might want to move to Hamilton, plus a few that might make you change your mind. In this video, the pros and cons of Hamilton, Ontario. My name is Morgan Little. I specialize in helping people move from Toronto to Hamilton just like I did. If there's ever anything I can do to help in your journey, feel free to reach out, book a call using the Calendly link in the description below, or just shoot me a text. Now, let's get into it. The Hammer has been getting a lot of attention lately, and mostly for good reasons, but there might be a few things that mean it's not the right place for you. I'll let you be the judge. Let's start with a few basics. Hamilton is located on the western tip of Lake Ontario and is the 5th largest city in Ontario after Toronto, of course, Ottawa, Mississauga, and Brampton, and 9th in Canada, with a population of almost 800,000 people. It's a big city, literally, sprawling over 1,138 square kilometers, so getting the lay of the land can be somewhat daunting, but don't worry, I've got you covered. To keep it simple, the city of Hamilton is split into two main areas, Hamilton Mountain and Central Hamilton. Then you have Stony Creek, which is a popular area, Glanbrook, Ancaster, Flamborough, and over here north of Burlington you have Waterdown, which is a hot spot as well. And this is all just within Hamilton Wentworth. We're not even going into Burlington in this video, but for more content on surrounding areas, be sure to subscribe. Now let's dive into the pros and cons of Hamilton, Ontario. Starting with the geographic location, Hamilton is in a prime spot in the heart of what's called the Golden Horseshoe, making it under an hour to Toronto, 40 minutes without traffic, but obviously longer if you're traveling during rush hour, 45 minutes to Niagara Falls and the US border, and about an hour to the Kitchener-Waterloo-Cambridge area. So you're within range of a lot of different cities. Now, speaking of location, that leads me to pro number 2, which is the nearby natural environment, which may be hard to believe until you see it is beautiful. Don't let the industrial area that you see coming over the bridge fool you. We are surrounded by a beautiful landscape. Hamilton, being located along what's known as the Niagara Escarpment, is known as the waterfall capital of the world, with over 150 waterfalls, 3,480 acres of municipal parks across 394 locations, 49 kilometers of trails, and almost 7,500 acres of conservation green space. If you're into the outdoors or hiking and biking, you cannot find a better place to be able to get to in such a short time. Also, there are numerous parks within the city that are fantastic for daily getaways, where you'll find tons of events and activities. Bayfront Park and Gage Park are two of the most popular, and Confederation Park on the waterfront provides great views of Lake Ontario. Number 3, commuting. This is an interesting one, and I'm sure I'll get a ton of comments about how bad traffic and how transit is. However, I will talk about the pros and the cons about getting around and in and out of Hamilton. Starting in the air. Yes, Hamilton's John C. Munro is an international airport which services many destinations and is a very short flight from Toronto to any connections needed to be made there. Now back here on the ground, we have the GO Transit. Hamilton is set up nicely on the GO Transit line with buses and trains at 2 stations at Hamilton GO and West Harbour, making commuting to Burlington, Oakville, Mississauga, or Toronto quite seamless. If your plan while living here is to take transit within the city, Hamilton's public transportation system will work for you just fine. Their bus system is modern and will get you where you need to go. The caveat here, and the first con from what I hear, as I don't really take transit, is that the buses themselves have seen better days, but again, they'll get you where you're going. Another thing I'll mention, and this can kind of go either way as a pro or con, and that's the one-way traffic. Hamilton's notorious one-way streets date back to the late 1950s in response to traffic congestion. Business owners have been frustrated over the years as they experienced a steep decline in customers because the one-way street conversions made it very easy to cruise across the city on these one-way streets like Main, Barton, and Cannon, especially because they seem to time all the lights so that you rarely have to actually stop. But as I mentioned, it killed a lot of the downtown business. But getting around the city, whether on these main veins or on the Red Hill Valley Parkway, really is a breeze, especially if you're used to experiencing Toronto traffic. I will mention one other thing here, and that's that the roads are not in great condition in certain areas, and apparently that's from having big trucks come in and out of the city in the industrial areas. Number 4, and my favorite, let's talk food. Believe it or not, Hamilton has an incredible food and beverage scene, with incredible restaurants, wineries, and microbreweries. This article on the Food Network goes on to say, over the past decade, Hamilton, Ontario has quickly developed a reputation as a foodie destination, lovingly referred to as the Hammer, Steeltown, and occasionally even Toronto's Brooklyn. Hamilton's affordability and proximity to Toronto have had new homeowners and restaurateurs alike flocking to the city. There's been a steady stream of new restaurants, bars, and cafes popping up alongside the long-standing restaurants that put Hamilton on the map long before it was cool. They go on to mention spots like James Street North's Born and Raised, with Top Chef Canada finalist Vittorio Colasetti, as well as My Pie, which was the first restaurant I tried here after a recommendation from a friend, and it's great. Caro is a great place on Ottawa Street, and the amount of delicious pizza I've actually had here since moving is unreal. Of course, Cowabunga, who recently won Best Cheese Slice in the world. Shorty's is great. Pizza Power is my go-to, with their Pickle Tickle pizza being one of my faves. Trust me, it's delish. No cons in this category. Being so close to Niagara on the Lake, there are a ton of wine tours that you can go on, but you can also just head out of town a few minutes to Winona, where you can experience some beautiful local wines against picturesque views. And the microbrewery scene here has exploded, with local favorites like Merit Brewing and Collective Arts with their colorful can designs, collaborated with artists from around the world. Number 5, sports and entertainment. Cat fans are die-hard, let me tell you. If you're a football fan, you'll love the enthusiasm around sports here. And when it comes to entertainment, there's no shortage here. Hamilton has a ton of events and activities to satisfy whatever your thing is. Supercall is an annual indie music fest. Festival of Friends takes over Gage Park, and Burlington Jazz Festival just across the bridge are just a few of the many things to do in the summer. And in the winter, the weather here is very similar to Toronto, so there's just as many activities. We actually tend to be a few degrees warmer than Toronto, as we're slightly more south. You can go skating, hiking, ice climbing at Tiffany Falls. That's something you won't find in Toronto. And if you're not an outdoor enthusiast, there's tons of indoor stuff like the Botanical Gardens, the Gage Park Greenhouse, the Art Gallery of Hamilton, or just go for a bite and a drink at any of the number of places that I mentioned already. Okay, you're sold. You're moving to Hamilton, but where are you going to live? Number 6 on my list is housing. Starting with the pros, and then we'll get into the inevitable comments that we'll get about the cons. One of the main reasons people move from Toronto to Hamilton obviously is it is much more affordable. I understand the term affordable is a relative term, and we'll get into that. But the cost of a home here compared to Toronto, Mississauga, Burlington, or Oakville is drastically lower. With the average price currently of a Toronto home about $1.7 million compared to under $850 here in Hamilton, with prices starting in the 400s and condos for even less. It really is the perfect place to start your journey as a homeowner, or to upsize for more bang for your buck on Hamilton Mountain, which has some beautiful homes. I'll be doing a video on some of my favorite neighborhoods soon, so be sure to subscribe to be notified about that. Now, let's discuss the flip side, because these prices I just mentioned are not the quote-unquote affordable homes that Hamiltonians are originally used to. Prices have, like everywhere in Ontario, risen steeply over the last number of years. For example, homes like the one I purchased when I moved here were selling for about half the price just 5 years earlier. Also, property taxes in Hamilton tend to be above average compared to some other cities in Ontario. However, unlike Toronto, Hamilton does not have a secondary land transfer tax. So yes, it's a big difference from the Toronto home prices, but the pinch has been felt by those who can't afford homes at these prices at all, and have contributed to the increased homelessness here, creating many of what has been coined tent cities in Hamilton. This has become commonplace in many major cities and is not unique to Hamilton whatsoever, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention it. And it's not a con in the sense of something that you need to avoid or something you don't want to be around, but more as an overall result of our current Canadian economy. To add to the con list, rents have continued to increase similar to other cities, with the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment being about $1,677, a two-bed going for around $2,100 a month, whereas a house rental will likely cost you anywhere from $2,300 to $3,000, depending on the condition and number of bedrooms. Let's talk about healthcare in Hamilton. Hamilton Health Sciences is a comprehensive healthcare system serving Hamilton and the surrounding regions. It operates several hospitals, including Hamilton General, Juravinski Hospital and Cancer Centre, McMaster Children's Hospital, and St. Peter's Hospital. As one of Canada's top research hospitals, HHS continuously sets new benchmarks in healthcare standards with groundbreaking discoveries and innovative programs. We also have St. Joseph's Healthcare, known for its compassionate patient care. The hospital has a strong local and national reputation and focuses on community wellness initiatives to reduce hospital visits. Actually, the Ontario government has recently announced they'll be investing over $20 million to modernize the facilities, including expanding the emergency department at Hamilton General and planning redevelopment for Juravinski Hospital and Cancer Center. Now, closely linked to that is education, starting with McMaster University, which is a globally recognized institution offering a wide range of programs, and it's known for its strong research capabilities and innovative teaching methods. And then you have Mohawk College, which also offers various programs in health, technology, business, and more, partnering with local industries to ensure practical and relevant training that meets job market needs. Hamilton also offers excellent primary and secondary schools, including public and private options. The Hamilton Wentworth School Board and Catholic Board manage numerous schools providing quality education and various programs, including French immersion. We have my daughter in the French system and are very happy with it. So when you're done going to school and you need to get a job, can you find one in Hamilton? Let's talk about it. The job opportunities in Hamilton are diverse and growing. Hamilton's job market is expanding with opportunities in healthcare, education, technology, and manufacturing. The city's strategic location and access to major transportation routes makes it an attractive place for businesses and professionals. Some of the top employers, as you could have guessed, are McMaster University, Hamilton Health Services, St. Joseph's Healthcare, and the City of Hamilton itself, as well as the growing technology sector. Hamilton has been experiencing a growth in the tech sector, adding 4,600 tech jobs from 2014 to 2019. The city is also part of the Toronto-Waterloo Innovation Corridor, benefiting from its strategic location near major tech hubs. One final con I will mention here, somewhat related to the historical job market here in Hamilton, is the pollution produced by the industrial sector. It has been improving over the years, but I thought I would mention it as it is a reality of living in Hamilton. But overall, the quality of life of living in Hamilton is fantastic. It offers a balanced lifestyle with all the amenities you need, beautiful landscapes, vibrant communities, and a rich cultural scene. Whether you're looking for a slower pace or the excitement of urban living, Hamilton has something for everyone. So if you are considering moving here, you really are moving into a vibrant, rich community. The people are friendly, there's lots to do, and the city is a ton of fun. From golf courses to delicious food to vintage shopping to tons of outdoor activities, there's literally something for everyone. I can't recommend it enough. If there's ever anything I can do to help in your journey, again, like I mentioned, book a call using the Calendly link below or just shoot me a text and I'm happy to help. Till then, I'll see you on the next one.